the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, D. It's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in. Down, clock in. Down, clock in. My defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks with the ball in the air. Secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there. He be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense. Go defense. Defense, gone, defense. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas Doomsday defense. Listen what the hot boys tell them, man. Defense, put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in. Down, clock in. Down, clock in. D, yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boys shining. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in. Down, clock in. Down, clock in. D, yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10.
Alright. What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. How are you guys doing on this, what is this, Tuesday evening? About to get ready on the grind. That's what I tell my kids whenever we have a long weekend and we off for a long time. I always kick up in the door and I'd be like, yo, back to the grind. Like my kids already know. They already know, like, man, it's time to go to bed at 9. It's time to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to start, getting them school clothes ready and getting ready for the next day. Ross Cowboy, I don't see you on here on the IGs.
I'm gonna hit that button.
Huh?
Hold on real quick. I just hit it.
My boy Daniel Garcia says, bruh, we almost had Jamal Adams. I don't think we really had him as close as as much as they leading us on, to be honest with you, man. I'm gonna just be totally honest with you. I think there was some tomfoolery going on with the Jamal Adams. I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys been watching, hey, Boss Cowboy, are we okay? I see you. I always be looking for you as Boss on IG. But what's up? Hey, that's how you know today has been one of them days where it's just been a lot of stuff, craziness going on, because I ain't even show you what's up to the fam. So what's up to everybody in the comment box? What up with you, Ken? I see you. What up with you, Scott Rob? I see you. Pedro, what's up with you, top fan? Appreciate you. Ken Martin, what is it, Martin? What's up with you, Ken? Was it Poochie? Oh, I like that. Poochie, what up with you, man? I got Nathan, what up with you, man? Rob, supporter, I appreciate you. Joe Trantrina out there in Italy. Joe, what time is it where you at? Pedro, what's up with you? Boss Cowboy, I know you see some people on there, you know, and I got some people on IG too. IG, I love IG because they got some of the most creative names I've ever seen. You got NBA, somebody on here. Let me say NBA. Marcus, you left it. It looked like Marcus left. He's coming back. All right, you got Xavier. Okay, it says Daniel Garcia. I got up here. RJ Smith, what up with you? Jessa Cabe, what's up with you? 8K. Jacob, what up with you? Queasy, what up with you? EB Love, Hip Hop. Okay, what up? What's your favorite group, man? NBA Alex 214. 4PK, what's up with you? If you already know, I'm kind of glad we didn't do too much of a asking price, in my opinion. And you got to think of it like this, right? If they were asking from the Dallas, because you got to really remember, right? The Dallas Cowboys, as soon as you say Jamal Adams and you say Dallas Cowboys, the first thing that comes to most people's mind is, oh, we're instantly a Super Bowl contender. You know what I'm saying? And hey, man, this is about to be some good stuff we're about to talk about right now. Before I talk about this, I need y'all to share. We got 52 people in here. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, share. Boom. Everybody got their one share. Now we can talk about what we was going to talk about, right? Now, Boss Cowboy, when everybody thinks about, and I still don't see you on IG, but when I do, I will definitely, wait, yeah, I do. Oh, we go. Hold on. Look, I gave you guys an extra couple seconds to share. All right, he's going to be up on IG in a minute. All right, so, when you guys hear of Jamal Adams with the Dallas Cowboys, your first thing that comes to your mind is what? I'm thinking that's instant guaranteed Super Bowl, right? Well, Boss Cowboy, when a team wins the Super Bowl or a team typically even gets to the Super Bowl, where are they usually picking at in the NFL draft the next year? So what number you think that is?
I mean, you picking at the bottom. You picking 32, 31. You're the bottom two left. And you picking, 30, and you picking 29. So, you picking at the bottom.
Okay, so if you're the New York Jets and you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys and you're telling yourself, if we trade Jamal Adams to the Dallas Cowboys, they're for sure going to win their division. That means that pick is for sure going to be out. It's not going to be lower than 20. All right? Well, it's not going to be lower than 22. You know what I'm saying? So, then think about this. If the Dallas Cowboys, get in the playoff and end up being pretty damn good, and get to maybe the NFC Championship game. Now that same 20 pick, it went from what? LVE? LVE was like 22? It went from like LVE. I don't want to say this because that's my dude, but it's the best example I can give. But it go from like LVE to Taco, where you have a guy who can instantly play to a guy that you just hoping. So if you were the New York Football Jets, would you give up a perennial all-talent player for a guy that you're going to draft next year, and you're probably going to have to wait for him? Why? Because you're going to be picking him about 30, 29, 28. No, that doesn't add up. So when the Dallas Cowboys step to the Jets and say, we have a first-round pick, the Jets aren't looking at that first-round pick the same way if they were looking at it from the New York Football Giants. Why? Because they're trash. So that means that first-round pick could easily be a what? Top 10 pick. Now, that's something that now we talking. You know what I'm saying? You talk about, you know, a top 10 pick for Jamal. Now it's a little spot. Now it's a little. So the reason why I had to say that is because, you know, I love the movie The Lord of the Rings, but you know how The Lord of the Rings, they be looking at the ring and it be so powerful and they be like, they're precious. Boss Cowboy, sometimes I think people be looking at draft picks and they be like, they're precious. And if you really look at it, if you're trying to be successful this year, your goal is to be picking at the end of every draft. Because if you're picking at the beginning, that means you're not good. So we gotta stop looking at draft picks. Yes, we are, and we are. Don't get me wrong, we pretty dang good in that draft. I ain't gonna lie, except for this year. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, we not Jesus. You know, it is what it is. There's only one perfect person. But boss, I need to know, man. Cause I heard you won some money today, man. If you owe Boss Cowboy, you need to pay up. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you owe Boss Cowboy and you ain't paid him, get up. I'm gonna be in your inbox. So that ain't right now. You know what I'm saying? There was
Everybody paid me.
Okay, because I'm gonna tell you, I was in the inbox. Listen. I was in the Miller Lite zone, right? And this Eagle fan was trying to stunt because you know he trying to stunt. Why he trying to stunt on West Coast? I have no clue. But he trying to stunt on West Coast, so he tell this lady, I got $100. Brett Mayer won't make it, and I'm like, how far is it? 62 yards. I'm like, she look at me. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll take that. Bruh, she took that old lady took that $100 bet. Brett Mayer lined up, put that thing through there, man. And guess what? Guess what? He went to go look at his wallet, and he didn't know it. So it was three of the biggest corn-fed Cowboys standing right behind West Coast. You know what he did, Boss Cowboy? He said, pull that $100 out and gave that $100 to that woman. I put that on everything I love. It was the funniest thing I ever seen, man. Boss Cowboy out here winning money off of Jerry Jones. Why was you so secure? Why was, because y'all know why I didn't think I was going to get him. But Boss Cowboy, I want to know, why was you so secure in knowing that the Dallas Cowboys weren't going to get Jamal Adams? Probably not even really in consideration. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, I felt like when you look at our track record, we definitely believe in, and strategically, I cannot fight Stephen Jones on the fact that we've been winning exponentially on a lot of different ways on building this team through the draft. And I have to, I've been on Stephen head for the last week, but on a long-term view, building through the draft is exponentially good to us right now, and can even put us in a position to where we can't lose if he's willing to spend. So I just pretty much knew that we value draft picks too much. That's one. That was one of the main reasons. And I know that Steven is going to basically be very, very prudent on trying to take the direction that's going to have us in a better budgeting standpoint. And when you look at the fact that, you know, next year we're projected to have $81 million, but what most people don't know is that $81 million is better than our last 8 years of the Cal combined.
Hey, we accidentally have a lot of free time over here. So what we do, because you know how some people, they round off numbers. Here at West Coast Cowboy, my boy Boss Cowboy, we have a lot of free time. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we just get the numbers. That's just what we do. Because when you look at the actual numbers, it really allows you to make more of an objective decision on if you want to really think that way. Like, you know, this is one of those opportunities. Think about this, right? What was at the end of the day, if you for Jerry Jones, not getting Jamal Adams was just as good as getting Jamal Adams, because guess what? I would almost guarantee you that jersey spells in T-shirts, because I got a T-shirt today, I ain't gonna lie. I'm pretty sure they spiked today. So you know what, Jerry Jones, once again, I'm going to take my hat off, and I'm going to tip you, bruh. Because even when nobody else can find a way to make a gang of money on a random Tuesday, Jerry Jones, you sly fox. Jerry Jones made $1 today, man, off of a player that he didn't even get.
Yeah.
I salute you, brother.
And he played it all the way to the deadline. I mean, you got to commend him on that. It's just genius marketing. I think it's one of those things where I think they made a play for, but anybody that know Dallas and just really serious, I'm unapologetically going to say I knew that they wasn't going to do it, and it was something that really had something to do with just like it just doesn't fit who they are.
Yep.
And to be honest, it didn't make sense. Like he's a solid player, but when you trying to get what they saying they want, that got to be like an Ed Reed or Deion Sanders.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it's like.
Yep.
No way. Like, stop it. Especially with our track record of drafting in the first. It's like, we're not giving that away. And then when you also look in this draft and you see, Derek Brown from Auburn, a super nice DT, and Raekwon out of Alabama, and you see Simmons out of Clemson, a safety / linebacker that's an upgrade to the last players that we've had in the last 10 years. No, this draft too good to give away all that for us. I'm not calling him a safety, but it's like if you go get that type of first round in 2 seconds, I need you to be pulling down at least 6 interceptions a year.
Yeah, and then also my thing is this, man. It comes down to numbers at the end of the day, bro. Like we give away a first round pick is 80 games, bro. 80 games, barring you don't get injured. Like, I know a lot of people don't look at it like that, but bar the fact you stay healthy. If you stay healthy, that's 80 games that I'm getting versus like 25. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you go after a Cooper, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like. The worst thing you could do if you trade for Jamal Adams is you trade for him and your defense is exactly the same. That would be the worst thing, because you got to think
some solid tackles. It would improve. I think his moxie would kind of spread across the team because he brought a different type of moxie and a leadership. He's almost like a Dak to a defense. You know what I mean? We would have improved. But it's like I don't think the net improvement is enough.
It's enough to warrant your point. Exactly, to warrant that. It's not worth worth paying for it.
He'll rock the crowd. He'll do some stuff that you'll be like, wow, he looked worth it. But when I say okay, but I think Will McClay with a first in 2 seconds would be more worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's just too much. That's giving up too much of our future for him. And one of you guys on Instagram, put down Grant out of LSU. Exactly. Like, it's some real, and he's a safety, it's real solid draft choices. And you got to think about sometimes what you're giving up in terms of opportunities. And it's like, there are certain drafts that are like once every 10-year type drafts. And this draft is almost setting up like that for us, especially when you look at the amount of quarterbacks that's in this draft, which when you have good quarterbacks in the draft, that pushes down a lot of the other auxiliary talents. You know, it does. It pushes down the offensive tackles, the defensive tackles, the receivers, because they go more than likely start coming off the board early at quarterback. So now Steven did good, but I think they knew that they wasn't going to do it. I think they said we'll play with it at the end, and hopefully they bluffing and we'll use it and also win on publicity. So it's like we go win multiple ways. Yeah. So if they cave at the last minute, we win, or either way, we're going to be in the public. So it's like they just won across the board today.
Yeah, and hey, I want to give a special shout out to my boy, man, original hot boy number 99, Antoine Woods in the house, man. I appreciate you for checking in and watching the show, man. I appreciate the love, man. Hey, y'all put them 99s in there, man. Let them know and show them some love, man. I appreciate you, man. But, yeah, I mean, just at the offset, like when I first heard it, like, because we all got a friend that know a friend, a friend. Y'all know I know somebody that knows somebody that know a secret. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know we know. And I'm going to just tell you, on Saturday I got the call. And like when I got the call about us to possibly getting the actually they never when I found out about Amari Cooper, to be most accurate, I didn't find out that it was exactly Amari Cooper. I just knew it was a wide receiver. But I never thought it was Amari Cooper because at that time Amari Cooper I don't want to get into all that. But yeah, I just would have never thought it was Amari Cooper. So, when I got this information on Saturday and I'm like, I shared it with the scouts and I'm like, I feel weird, man. And then, I feel weird like I want them, but I don't know if I want them. Like, you know what I'm talking about, Boss Cowboy? Like I'm hungry, but I can wait till I get home if I need to. And like that's kind of how I felt with Jamal Adams. Like if we got a legitimate opportunity of giving him, then let's get him. But like this was not an Amari Cooper moment. Like you're number one in the division. You're the closest thing that's to you demolish, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that this is a race between the NFL, but this is really a race between us and the Philadelphia Eagles. We got to win that first. Once you win that race, then you qualify for the tournament. Remember, we don't play in the playoffs here. We play in the tournament. We can get you back on here, boss. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So, I said, let me get my boy Boss Cowboy on here. All right, boss. All right, we lost you for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm with you.
All right, there we go. So, you know, your first objective in any NFL season is to win your division. So, last year we were 3-5. Like you're trying. Honestly, Amari Cooper was a Hail Mary. Like, to be honest with you, he was freaking number 12, and throwing up to 88 and just hoping that it worked. Like, you are not going to tell me that Jerry Jones or any NFL commissioner is thinking in their head, oh my God, we're 3-5. Let's trade a first round to Amari Cooper and make history. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was literally a Hail Mary. So that's why when Boss Cowboy says things like, your voice matters, you know, if you speak loud enough, they will hear you. Amari Cooper was for us. That's what I 100% believe. I believe that was for us. Now, I compare those situations? And Stephen Jones said then, Boss Cowboy, then he said, it was almost like an act of Congress. This is after they won 8 games. He says, it was almost like an act of Congress.
Exactly.
Like, even after getting to the second round of the playoffs, Stephen Jones was like, yeah, I'm cool on that.
Yeah. Another thing, West Coast, real quick, man. It was honestly smart. I can't say that it was not smart, man. It was smart. You know, it's smart the way that we're building, man. And it's one of those things to where we are in a position, when you look at the fact of the amount of cap space that we have, that basically with a couple of more drafts to where we've been basically building through the draft, if we able to keep the momentum and replace some of the people that sometimes don't kind of pan out, but able to kind of keep the ball rolling through the draft, we're going to be in a place that not only do we already and have already paid our own, which we pretty much already have done, we going to also be in a place to where we going to be able to just have Christmas and go real shopping in free agency, like a whole bunch of splashes. Not even going to say a whole bunch, but we can really easily make some real quality splashes. Like, you can actually go after some of the younger, cheaper, with low tread type of top free agents and still have enough cap space to take care of your core team.
Bro, I have absolutely no faith the Dallas Cowboys will spend in free agency. I'm sorry to just piss in your yogurt, but man, I have no faith that the Dallas Cowboys are going to go spend in free agency.
Yeah, but it's go
even with the money, man. Like, even with like 30 mil, like I feel the Dallas Cowboys will be that team. Go ahead.
No, I agree, but it's like we're getting to a place to where it's like you almost have to. If we continue at the rate that we are, where we continue to replace people that don't quite pan out through the draft and kind of keep the ball rolling, that's so exponentially cost efficient that you go get a surplus to where you can really, like, with ease go get anything that you want and have most of your team still paid for. As I know, I mean, our offensive line is paid for up to 2023. You look at, when
Boss,
Cooper's done, he's going to be
join the IG if you can. Join the IG if you can.
Got you.
All right, but go ahead. But you go ahead and continue your point though about Amari Cooper though.
Yeah, but if when Cooper signed, he's going to be paid up to about 2023, 2024. Dak 23, 2024. Zeke is paid for 23, 2024. you pretty much had a core of your offense locked in for the next 5 years. So then, by next year, you go, knock out some of your key pieces, and get some of them in for the next 3-4 years, and pretty much everybody's paid for. And everybody else is done through drafts. That's exponential to where you might say, okay, let's go get us a Gilmore, like what New England did, right? To where they was like, look, we need a corner. Gilmore sitting out there, but at that time, Gilmore was kind of a younger, treaded corner, and it rocked. You know what I mean? So it's like,
go get that boy. You can go get that boy from Atlanta, man. That defensive tackle, Jared. Oh my God! Could you? Oh my God! I don't even want to think about stuff like that. I don't even want to think about stuff like that. Like Rod Marinelli with like some godly, just monstrosity of a defensive tackle. I don't even want to imagine. Like, I don't even want to imagine. And I thought about this yesterday. I say, man, when you in the moment and you wanting people like Adams, just think about all the people that we walked away from. But when you look at that bank account, you say, well, it's not so bad. You know what I mean? But in the moment, I thought about it. I said, what if Steven basically looked at a long-term budget and said, in order for us to get to, let's say, maybe $100 million in surplus and cap space and have most of our core players retained, that it's going to take us being absolutely stingy discipline for the next 5 years. And he calculated it like that to where we're going to have to ride this course to get to a place to where we just surplus crazy, because it's starting to build like that, in terms of his account. The Cowboys account is so exponentially fat going into 2020. I mean, like, they gonna be able to lock up, especially their core players, whoever they want, especially if you come talking about, I want a friendly deal. They'll be like, oh, you gonna go on the market? Here you go. Yeah.
Oh, you want on the market? Oh, we got the cash, and we're not even fighting about it. Here you go. It's just that they want everybody cheaper while they build in that way. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like some people you're going to have to pay your exponential, obvious, overboard performers. You got to pay. But then it's going to be guys like Jalen. It's going to be guys like Liel. That's going to be like, you know what? Just give me that money. Give me this upfront money. And I don't want to wait. I don't want to, bet on myself. Give me my cash. Take $1 million off. I'm cool. So, like, if you get enough of those, man, you got this team paid for, and they're young.
Yeah, I think Jalen, and I kind of looked at Jalen Smith and me and Lael. When you have age on your side, you can almost take the NBA approach, where instead of getting one long contract where your guarantees are big, but then a couple years from now you're dang near a discount. A lot of these guys, I think, are doing the NBA approach and taking lower contracts, but taking lower years, like 3-4 years, and then by that third year, you either asking for a re-up or a holdout, or you up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So it allows them to get more actually guaranteed money up at front, because usually that's what these guys are playing for. Like, for the most part, a lot of times that's what you holding out for. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they're guaranteed to pay you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Zeke, where I think that's going to be a major factor for a guy like Dak Prescott, is making sure that he has that, for sure. I mean, to keep it real, since Carson Wentz is in his division, you have to beat Carson Wentz on the freaking guarantee contract, and I think you got to beat him on the yearly contract. We just going to scoop down to Dak and Cooper money. The reason why I say that is because, there's Dak and Wentz are going to have many battles, at least what, 10 that we know of for sure. Why? Because they're both, Wentz is on a 5-year contract. You know what I'm saying? 6, to be honest with you, so 12. So they're going to have at least 12 battles. Don't you think you want your quarterback to feel like he's the better quarterback in those battles out of 12? You know what I'm saying? I think at the end of these guys' careers, you'll be able to look at how many times these guys played each other, and I would think that you would probably think whoever has the better stat line between these guys is probably going to have the better career, to be honest with you. Why? Because each year the Dallas Cowboys are freaking competitive, and each year the freaking Eagles are freaking competitive. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's very important that Dak's making more money than at least Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like if
man.
they try to be like, okay,
Yeah.
Jared Goff, whatever, boom, boom, ba, boom, bam, whatever, but you gotta for sure give him more money than the dude that's in your division that he didn't dog walk. Like his record against Wentz is ridiculous now. Like Dak can just hold him on that alone. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, there's no way you can give me less than what Wentz is getting. Why? Because I dog walked him, I beat him. So then, and Jerry be like, well, yeah, okay, but okay, well then Barry, you ask him this question. Okay, so do you want me to play worse than Wentz then? So you gotta
Yeah,
give
I
him. You
mean,
gotta give him at least Wentz money.
yeah, and you know, I'm gonna think of it on a personal note, right? Just on a personal note, it's like if you Dak, you gotta feel cheated. You literally gotta feel cheated for a whole 4 years from this standpoint. There's no way if you looked at Dak's resume coming out of college and looked at Carson Wentz's resume coming out of college that you would have picked Carson Wentz over Dak. The only thing that kept happening why Carson Wentz was always graded over Dak was over projective, speculative BS. Like stuff like arm strength and he's tall and he arm angle. Man, please, if you say who played the tougher opponents in college, you know, who was the Heisman candidate, who was the person that led their team to the #1 ranking for the first time in school history, who was Mr. Everything NCAA, who had the third most snaps, and who was the MVP of the Senior Bowl, you would have said Dak if it was a blind resume, right? If you compared the resume to Wentz. And so you know you basically got cheated, basically being a fourth rounder. Now it's your chance to finally say, okay, they finally got it right. They finally getting ready to give me the accolades that I felt like I've always deserved over this guy, especially when you add in your point, West Coast, of the actual production versus this guy for the last 3 to 4 years. You know, it's like it's not even close. It's like, and then but you're gonna still have me under this guy. Like now, at some point, especially when you drafted with a guy, it becomes almost me versus this guy. Like Magic Johnson talked about it with Bird, because you know they came out together. Bird said that he got about, and you saw this the same thing with Chris Carter and Jerry Rice. Like Chris Carter said, I was happy to be playing where I was playing because I always knew I was getting up earlier than Jerry Rice, you know? And then Bird used to say when he was working out, I wonder what Magic did today. It wasn't at some point about just the money. It was about, this is the guy that's my career rival and we battling for all time. You know, and that's how Dak is going to always be viewed in compared to Wentz. And at some point, you want your validation. You know, and it's like, nah, man, you got to give this man his validation. And also, the longer it's taking, the more you not validating this man and actually insulting him.
Yeah. So that's the phenomenal point, and I think Amari Cooper is the exact same way, man. And I mean, like next year, there's a point that we bring up because we always want to make sure you understand the numbers. The numbers on a franchise tag for. But next year you will be able to use a transitional tag and a franchise tag. But the franchise tag number next year is $32.8 million. For all you people that are saying that you don't want to give Dak Prescott $33 million, well, if you franchise him, he's going to get $32.8 million guaranteed. So that's a difference of $200K. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm Dak Prescott, am I holding out just to get what I know for sure you won't give me no less than? No. Like,
no.
To be honest with you, like $32.8 million, the bottom. That's the seat. That's the basement. That's the basement of his deal. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because that's the franchise tag. That's the guaranteed number. And I know some people be like, "Oh, well, let Dak go out there and let him go out there. I let him test free agency. All right, you go let him test free agency, and we're not gonna have a quarterback. Remember, someone traded for Josh Rosen. That's factual.
Yeah, I mean, those fans that's left are the fans that's never go ever like that. Those type fans that's still talking. It's not about facts at all with them anyway. It's just nothing that Dak is going to ever do with those type guys is going to be good enough, period. You know, and, you know, the big point too, man, with what you just said is, I mean, you definitely also ain't going to be able to find another quarterback more than likely, especially given where we're going to more than likely be picking, even on the way that we started. So at worst, we're going to be an 8-8 type team. And in this quarterback draft, all the top quarterbacks will go early. So you're going to be already, if you're talking about playing with Dak, thinking that you're going to be able to replace him, you're not going to be replacing him with Tua. No. And you're going to have to give up the world to go get Tua.
For real. So you're going to have to give up this 20. You have to give up 2020 and 2021.
No, so it's not even like it's not even an option. Like, and see, that's why a lot of people, in my opinion, don't understand why that $30 million was an insult. To your point, it's almost like super insulting for you to know that the franchise tag at worst is going to be 32 for me.
32.8. 32.8. That's closer to 33 than it is 32.
33.
Might as well say 33.
Yet that the last offer that was made public, like they was hooking him up, was 30.
Was 30.
Like, and I was having a debate with somebody. I'm like, bro, you gonna let somebody just take $2 million out your pocket?
2.8. So that's really $3 million.
Yeah, and that's just 1 year. We're not even talking about the per year. We just talking about 1 year.
Just I mean, if you sign a contract for 5 years, 3 times 5, well, that's 15. So that's $15 million. That's not $3 million.
You gonna let somebody just take that from you?
Like that's $15 million. So that's a lot of money.
No.
That's why when people were talking about with D-Law, like, oh, D-Law, he needs to just, I'm like, bro, $2 million, that's $12 million bucks. That's not $2 million. That's just not $2 million. That's over a 6 year. That's $12 million. 2 times 6 is what? That's 12. All right, so that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's money worth fighting for, right? That's money worth saying hell no, we won't go, right? And to be honest with you, that's why if I'm Dak, that's why I get it now. I 100% get it why Dak ain't signed no contract. You want to know why? Because I know for a fact that the Dallas Cowboys have not offered him a contract over $32.8 million. Because if they offered him a contract over $32.8 million, I believe he would have signed it.
Yeah.
Last contract I heard he offered was $30 million. I'm not signing that if I'm Dak. No, thank you.
No.
I short myself I short myself $15 million. Really 14 something. Almost $14 million. There's no reason. There's no way I do that.
Yeah, $14 million, you go just take out my pocket. But you go take it out my pocket claiming you ain't got the money when everybody can see that got the internet, that has just basic internet access, that they sitting on next year $81 million in available money.
Yeah, and there is not a quarterback in this draft that is better pro ready to play right now. Because Tua, when you said Tua, I instantly thought, bro, Tua is not ready for the NFL. Like, I mean, he's a good quarterback for what they do at Alabama. But mechanically, he's not ready for the NFL. He's not ready for them boys. Like Tua's going.
At this point,
the only boy that boy over there in Oklahoma, he may be able to slide through, but I don't know about Tua.
Man, like right now, Dak is considered the man, bro, on this team.
There's no reason you would get rid of Dak.
The team, bro. It just. Like, no, you bringing in a pup. Oh, Jesus, no. And then it's like, man, that poor dude to be going into like a Super Bowl built roster with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Like, you getting ready to have to take the shadow of Dak, right? And you know, regardless of what you say about Dak resume the last 3-4 years is almost untouchable. You know what I mean? It's a big ask for a rookie. Now, for those of us who still like to compare him to Brady, compare him to Romo 10-year career, okay, yeah, sure, you can nitpick Dak. But if you compare him to most, literally all the first rounders that came out, the only people that you can really compare to him is Mahomes and Watson. Everybody else, they not doing it. Golf is a close maybe, you know, but everybody else, Baker Mayfield, Allen, Lamar, you can add Lamar. I'll put Lamar in there, but everybody else, and that lets you know to ask to go find another one instantly with the majority.
Realistic.
Come on, bro. It's not realistic.
And then think about this. Even when you find a guy, you find a guy and he balls out 1 year, then he Baker Mayfields it the second year.
Yeah, man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? The boy got 12 interceptions, 6 touchdowns, first overall pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's too risky, man. It's not even a thought. So
Like, if you mess up on your quarterback, that can set you back. Like, I mean, damn. I mean, how long it set the freaking? Technically, the Browns still ain't there because their quarterback playing right now is trash. Like, what if Baker Mayfield stays on that same trajectory? So I mean, like, bro, you don't take a chance with that. When you have your guy, you're supposed to sew your guy up. Like, that's why you don't hear about quarterbacks playing on 1-year deals, at least real good ones. You don't. There's no reason to. Why? Because they know quarterbacks and right tackles are dime, or left tackles are a dime or dozen. You know, when they're available, they get going really fast. So it's like, you know, I mean, the fact, the approach that some people take on Dak Prescott at times, I mean, I think it's crazy. But, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of, let's talk about Cooper. Let's talk about Cooper and his money for a minute before we switch to this Cowboys offense and talk about Hot Boys for a little bit too. Well, what are your thoughts, man? Because just like the salary cap went up for Dak Prescott, the salary cap has gone up for Amari Cooper too. You know, I mean, not the salary cap, but the franchise tag. The franchise tag next year is about $18.2 million. I mean, I think it's crazy that Cooper is still attempting to play while injured on a 1-year deal. Like, that's crazy to me. I mean, the fact that his agent allowed him to do that. I mean, like, Cooper has, for everything that Cooper is jeopardizing, there's no way Cooper can settle for less than $20 million a year. Like, to be honest with you, all he really got to do is put up about 1,400 yards, get us about 10 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns, and there's no way, with everything that he's done, there's no way that I think that his agents will even allow him to take less than $20 million per year. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because you have showed a team, not only will you play for them, but you'll show a team that you will play and play pretty damn well while injured. That's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about Cooper money, right? The first thing that come to mind when I'm thinking about Cooper money is I would be exponentially surprised, West Coast, if Cooper is not done this week. Like this week. Like you got your headlines on the trade deadline, Dallas. Now make another headline by signing Cooper, and it makes sense because almost like last year, they obviously used the bye period as a reset for the season. They fired Colombo, right? Made that change. They got Cooper, made that change, and said, okay, these are the mid-season adjustments, almost like a halftime, that we're going to use to try to go forward. With Cooper, they're losing money that they would have saved if they would have went ahead and did his contract before the season. So every week that goes by, they lose in leverage against their own. They're losing their own leverage. They killing it. So you can't let that savings disappear. So it's like, why would it linger on past this week? It's like, just go ahead and accept it like you had to accept with Zeke that you lost. And that's okay. You tried Zeke. You tried the tough guy role. None of those guys are going to get market-setting contracts, you know, and all of that big talk you did, you know, Jerry, and then I'm man enough to do what's best for the team. That was all taking shots at Zeke, but okay. But in the end, you paid him a market-setting contract. Now's the time to do that with Cooper, right? Because you is now at this point you've lost everything where you would have gained a lot by signing him. You would have had a big savings in your cap for 2019 just by signing him. You would have gave him the security. More than likely, he would have tried to play through the Jets, because now that I'm signed, I want to, you know, show that I'm worth the money y'all just signed me for. Just like Romo used to take needles and all that kind of stuff in his body because I'm paid. I gotta play, you know, and so it's one of those things to where the Cooper just doesn't like make any sense to go past this week, and I'm expecting it. Like, just like I was almost certain and pretty certain and willing to bet money that they wasn't going to sign Adams today. I feel like at least 70% of that in terms of Cooper this week, because it just at this point don't make any sense not to sign Cooper.
Yeah, because I mean, you already got the 16 games, so you already know what a full season of him looks like, and it doesn't matter if it's not like you have 16 consecutive games, so you have the data to kind of project where he's going to be at. So I mean, I don't see why there's no reason on why you wouldn't want to, and why do you want to eat $13.9 million, which is $14 million? Like, that's not a good business decision. Like, paying Cooper also. I mean, and also, we speak very big on like first round pick. When you gave up a first round pick, man, if you don't re-sign Cooper, you're basically traded a first round pick for 25 games, 27, including the 2 playoff games. Like, that's not worth it. That's not worth it. And even with a Super Bowl ring, that's not. I mean, bro. I don't want to be the Denver Broncos. You know what I'm saying? The Denver Broncos won a Super Bowl, and they have been in purgatory ever since. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason why the Dallas Cowboys can't get Amari Cooper signed. Like, and I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's at the point now where you can also kind of like sear that relationship a little bit, because Amari Cooper ain't like Ezekiel Elliott. He ain't all loud and running through the club with his shirt off with nose ring. That's not Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Cooper be wearing neckties, and you know what I'm saying, he be having the little cummerbunds. You know what I'm saying? He's a socialite. You know what I'm saying? He's a you know what I'm saying? He's with class, a man of class. Not saying that Zeke ain't, but what I'm saying is everybody is different. So it's like, just because you called Zeke all types of names and he just laughed it off and, made a shirt and, wore the shirt and thought it was funny, that don't mean that Amari Cooper is going to look at it the same way. Like, Amari Cooper could be in his really mind be thinking like, bro, like, how dare these dudes literally have me out here playing and I'm out here balling, setting records for the most. Like, Amari Cooper has 2 of the biggest games ever in Dallas Cowboy history. 2, not 1, 2. And they were both against your division. Amari Cooper is 7-0 against your division. Like, what more stats do you need? 7-0. Think about this. You only played the division, 2, 4, 6? That's 6 games. So if he goes 7-0, that's a sweep of the division. Like, he's never lost to anyone in your division. That's ridiculous. That means your Dallas Cowboys are 7-0 with Cooper in the division. Like, that's what you're paying for. Like, I don't know why you would want to let that walk out of your building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. More importantly, why don't you value that? Why don't you? And like that, if I'm Amari Cooper, I could easily get in my feelings and be like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? I was putting myself on the line for you guys, and you guys didn't want to reciprocate that by paying me.
Yeah, it don't make no sense now. And this is Cooper value is so obvious right now. West Coast, I'm gonna steal a thought that he had, and we was partying in Dallas, and I remember we was walking, and we was talking about football, and we were talking about Cooper. And West Coast said one of the realest things. I don't know if we was driving or we was walking. I forgot one of them clubs we come from, but you said something and it stuck with me. You said, man, Cooper has played good enough to be an 88. I said, boy, that's a fact.
It is.
Like, that's a fact.
That's why I said in my video, like, he definitely deserves the word 88.
Yeah, I think you call him an 88er.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's what kind of level his game is on. Like, for real. Because, see, 88 is bigger than Jerry Jones. 88 is before Jerry. It's 88 is what my mama know. And I mean that. Like, I was raised to be a Cowboy. Literally, I was raised about those stories. Like, straight up. Some of y'all lived it. I didn't live that era. So when I hear about the 88s and then I experience my 88 and then I experience another 88 and then I see another potential 88, bro, that's big.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, his game, his maturity, his route running, bro, that's somebody.
And then think about this, boss. I'm going to tell you what it is. Honestly, also, not even just his individual athletics, but 88 is moments. Like, when you think of 88, you think of moments. Like, you think of Drew, you think of what? Hail Mary. You think of Mike Irvin, you think of what? Him going over top. In that double star jersey, that big old jersey.
The first down when I think about Michael Irvin, that first down, bro.
Yeah, that's right. And that jersey just going, you know what I'm saying? Just swimming all over.
And then the X.
You think of Dez, you think of X, you think of moments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you think
moments.
of the moments. And that's what Amari Cooper, when you think of Amari Cooper, you know what you think of? The moment when he broke a dude's ankle. The moment when Dak threw a slant pass and he bounced it up in the air and took it to the house to win the game. The moment when he had 200 and some yards twice. Like Amari Cooper is a dominant receiver. Like, he's a dominant. And then you have small moments that don't mean a lot, but they mean a lot. Like when you don't finish a game versus the Jets, but then you come out and get 100 and some yards in a division game that they had you as barely not even playing in.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by moments.
Yeah.
That's 88 stuff.
Point. See, that's an excellent point, because most people, I ain't gonna say most people, but some people don't know this. A lot of people know this, but some people don't. That Aikman never won a game if 88 or 22 wasn't in the game. That's how significant an 88er is. You know, to your point, you could see the drop off and explosion immediately when he wasn't in the Jets game. You could see it. That like Gallup need a little bit more time before he's tested to assume the mantle of a number one. You know what I mean? And an 88er type of number one, like somebody that's a big gamer. Because because even Amari said himself when he was talking to Chris Carter, he said, Dallas is what I've always dreamed of what football should have been when I was growing up, imagining football in the NFL. Dang. So it's like all the dynamics says that he wants to be great. He wants to be here. But then there's also a dysfunction that's coming from our front office that could drive a person with the best intentions out of this organization. Because at this point, it's already broken our kind of precedent. It's already broken it. And it's sad that most people don't know that go look around the league and find me a receiver and a quarterback that's top 5 haggling over a contract right now. And you can look at all 31 teams. You're not going to find one. That's the level of dysfunction that Cooper and Dak is going through right now. So, like, to go into the Giants game again, where the Giants was your first game, and all of us, matter of fact, we did a show together, and everybody said when we was on that show, do you think he's going to get paid? We all said no. But then to go to another one and they're still not paid?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean,
let me say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Just go look at the NFL Network and look what the players are saying. Look what they're saying. You know what you're seeing on these guys' tweets? Most of them saying, I'm glad trade deadline is over so I can focus on what?
Football.
So you telling me that these guys' futures, you telling me it's not weighing on them?
Yeah, I mean, you saw what it did to the Lakers last year. You saw what happened to the Lakers last year. I mean, my boy Ken says Gallup reminds me of Alvin Harper. I could definitely agree with that. I like that comment. Wendy says, either way, I'm a little Italian or you're a little American. We think alike. Salute. He says, Nathan says, Gallup is our generation's Alvin Harper. Odin, top fan, says West Coast. Jerry lives for the drama. He wants to keep Dallas in the news. Why not sign Dak or Coop? That's Jerry. E-Kush. But I mean, at the same time, though, it's like I don't put all this on Jerry Jones either, though, because it's like the devil can only tempt you to do it. He can't actually take your hand and put it on there and make you steal it. He can only tempt you. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, Jerry Jones can only put an offer in front of you. You still got to sign it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I also think that Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott could help themselves out too by getting paid too. You know what I'm saying? Like by what? By just flat out reminding Jerry Jones of what they worth. I mean, Zach Martin did it. Zach Martin held out for 2 days, I think, and they got him paid. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn, Dez Bryant did it, and he got paid. I mean, La'el Collins, he got paid. He didn't have to hold out. That's crazy. That's kind of weird. I ain't gonna lie. Who else got paid? I mean, Tony had to threaten it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, D-Law told him my whole arm is falling off and I'm not gonna sew it back on unless you pay me first. And he did that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Zeke said, I'm going to Mexico, where it's Taco Tuesday every day. Y'all tripping. And I'm about to go eat these carne asada nachos and stuff and chill in Mexico. And guess what? In the middle of his sleep, Jerry Jones called him and said, Zeke, you won. Zeke said this. Zeke said, man, my agent had to call me 3 times because I didn't think it was going to happen. That's what Zeke said. So that lets me know that the last conversation that he had was under the impression that he was going to miss a game. And you know what happened? In the middle of the night, Jerry Jones was laying there and said, there's no way in hell Zeke is going to miss a game. It called him up. And that's what happened. Same thing that Jerry did with Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Willie had a good question, man.
What
I'm
Willie
throw it
say?
at you if you don't mind.
Well, what the hell is you saying, Willie?
Willie, and I think I'm gonna say your name like it's from Atlanta, Stovall. Okay?
Hey, Willie had a good comment. He had a good comment, maybe like 400 comments ago.
Willie asked a real good question, man. I'm gonna shoot it at you, man.
I read.
He said, like, why do we make our stars look like the bad guys?
Hey, man. Hey, welcome to Dallas Cowboy Scout. I'm welcome from West Coast. I'm Boss Cowboy, man. Hey, man. Welcome. I mean, man, bruh. It's called. We call it villainization. It's when you take a guy and you turn him into a villain. It is the art of doing it. The Dallas Cowboys they're very good at it, man. I mean, if you think about it, every single player that's come up in contracts. I mean, they said crazy stuff about D-Law. They said he ain't Von Miller. You know what I'm saying? They said Zeke. They said, hey, we don't need what they say about Zeke. They said
Zeke who?
Zeke who? Damn, they just forgot all about it. They didn't even know who Zeke was. They told Dak Prescott.
I'm man enough to stand by it.
They told Dak Prescott.
I've earned the right.
They told Dak Prescott that he was gonna that he they told the whole team. Yeah, they told the whole team that ain't none of y'all getting no deal that's market setting.
No market setting deal. And so, that's that.
I mean, so it's like I mean, like I say it like this, Jerry Jones is a farmer where he grows up. He's the only person I know who grows apple trees. And while he's growing it, right before he sells it, whips out his little yin-yang and pisses all on his own fruit. Piss all on it. And then he'd be like, I got these pissed on apples. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's just, it's the worst business. It's like used salesman's mentality. Like, when you go into a car salesman, it's like funny, when you go to buy a car, right? You like this car, but in order to get a lower price, what do? Man, look at the wheel, man. Look at the wheel, bro. It's all round. I mean, it's oval a little. Look at it. Man, you're going to have to knock at least 200 off that. Oh, my God. Are you telling me the gas cap? The gas cap oh, my God. It won't close all the way. Oh, man. Oh, my God, Boss Cowboy. Did the last person who drove this car smoke? Why? Because it's a smell of smoke. Man, how much you want for this? You want 13,000? I mean, I'll give you 10. Like, that's how they do business. Like, I'm being honest with you. That's how they do business. Like, that's realistically how they do business.
Let me tag on that one real quick, too.
I mean, he's Zeke, but, I mean, he did get in trouble. I mean, I did, pay for his lawyer and said he was innocent. But, I mean, Zeke, you still got into the trouble. I mean,
yeah,
that came from our own team.
I think the thing about it's one of the reasons why, and I'm pretty certain about this, is because money. Like, I wrote an article and talked about the Kardashian style of Steven and Jerry because it's good business. Like, honestly, it's good business. Like, they know how to stay in the headlines, and that's an economic value to having that skill. And sometimes getting in those headlines is by throwing your own players under the bus. That's why you can't say that they want to win more than they want to make money, because it's almost like this. And really try to imagine this, right? try to imagine that your ultimate goal, right, is to win a football championship. But every time you ring a bell and that bell talks about your team, you make about 10 million. You would every now and then ring that bell.
You'd be more focused on that bell ringing than what's going on in that field.
You'll be focusing on that bell ring. And so he has the fans are so big and you make so much money by being the topic of our sports discussion that you'll start ringing that bell over stuff that's like significant. Then you'll start making up your own drama because every time you talk about your team, you make money.
Yep.
So that part of it is money. It's just straight up money. So they know when I say this is going to be the talk of all the sports shows for the next 2 days, and they know it. It's going to happen, and it's going to build his value. Jerry said this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's big, and it tells you a lot about how he thinks. He was talking about gambling in sports and it coming to football, and he was talking about the intensity of looking at games because of fantasy football.
Yeah.
That was his total focus because he knows the economic value of us paying attention. So he's going to ding, 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 ring that bell for us to pay attention, even if it's about talking about Dak, even if it's bad for Dak's psyche. It's like, I know this hurt your feelings, Dak, but I got to make another $10 million.
Hey, and boss, and think about this too. It's also an easy way to sell them season tickets too, because it's like if you're in the off season and you're perpetrating a lie that the Dallas Cowboys are aggressively going to go after Earl Thomas, then guess what? You can almost spike that price of them prices just a little bit. Why? Because you're selling the illusion of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if it never comes through, and guess what? You're going to run with that illusion all the way up to what? Until it don't happen no more, until it can't happen. You know what I'm saying? So the Dallas Cowboys, that's why I said I would love to know the numbers that happened today, because I can guarantee you the Dallas Cowboys made money off of Jamal Adams today, and Jamal Adams doesn't even play for the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because he put their name in the headlines, and by putting their names in the headline, all you do is attach your little merchandise code, and guess what? The Dallas Cowboys sold jerseys today. You know, they sold all types of merchandise today. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had, you know, you guys sell, you know, I sell ticket packages. I sold ticket packages today. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure they was buying them because of Jamal Adams, but I think Jamal Adams helped heighten drove that excitement where somebody would send me X amount of money on a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like if I see that on a minuscules, you know, you can only magnify that by a billionaire. Like, bro, like, even if you think about this, bro, even if you made like $50, and I know you made more than $50, bro, what did it cost you to say that hey, I'm interested in Jamal Adams? Now the media does everything for you. Like, we don't even got to do anything. Like, I can just put it, hey, Bob, hey, Fisher, put out a tweet that says we're interested in Jamal Adams. And then all he got to do is pay his cell phone bill, and that's the only thing it cost him. But he's going to make money off that. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? Like, I can only imagine, I'm pretty sure he made at least $10-15 million today, and that was just by him not even today. And I'm just thinking that's just off of him just doing nothing.
Look, this is how he made $15 million today. Hey, we looking at Adam. Look. I'm calling Clarence Hill. Yeah, Clarence, it's going okay. It's getting down to the last 10 minutes. We working on it. We'll see. And then Clarence say, thank you. And then he tweet, just talk to my source.
Or just spoke to my source.
Then everybody take that tweet that Clarence said and spread it around. then he say, okay, about 10 minutes later, they sitting in the conference room like this. Look what's coming. Then he say about 10 minutes later, hey, Jane, it's still hope. Don't give up yet. We got about 12 minutes left, and we're going to assemble the coaches to let them know we come up with. Thank you. And then she tweeted.
I'll keep it real. I knew it was bogus when Jane Slater said via tweet that the DB coach and the head coach were all meeting in a room right now about Jamal Adams, I knew then. I was like, oh my God. Like, they are calling bull. I'm calling it right now. Bullshit. That's why on my video, I was a Debbie Downer the whole video, because I was just telling y'all, like, the real, like realistically, like, yo, people ask me, West Coast, do you think we're going to get it? I'm like, yo, y'all know, if I feel I'm going to do something, if I feel the Cowboys are going to do something, or I feel the Cowboys will do something, what do? I make a video. I promote the video. That's what I do. I made a video about Leonard Williams a month ago. Thought it was a great idea. I didn't make no video about Jamal Adams. And then today, when we were on, I said specifically, I said, honestly, like, if I had to bet all the money in my pocket and all the money in my bank account, I would say it's not going to happen. The reason being is because it don't make no sense. Like, it don't make no sense. I bet real dollars. Like, it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was a 100% PR move. Like, I 100% thought it was a PR move. And the thing about this, Boss Cowboy, like, the thing about Jerry Jones is this. Jerry Jones is not going to value waiting up to the third second of the second to cut the cord before it, and then it doesn't blow up. No, that's not how Jerry Jones is going to do that. Jerry Jones values this. He values Jamal Adams being able to practice today. Because remember, they could have probably waited and got less and probably kind of got Amari Cooper for a third round. But guess what? Amari Cooper wouldn't have had that week of practice either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we paid for that. So what I honestly think would have happened if we was really wanting Jamal Adams, bro, we would have known yesterday. And he would have been in practice today.
Week ago.
Yeah, because we've been on a bye. Like, you know what I'm saying? We would have valued him being in practice.
Mini install.
Yeah.
Mini install.
And if you're giving up the first round, why does it matter to wait today or next week? Like, Boss Cowboy, you're absolutely right. If Jamal Adams was going to be a Dallas Cowboy, he would have been one last week. Because then you had 2 weeks to practice with him.
Yeah.
Like, why would you let it all the way up to the deadline, then he gets here tomorrow, and then there's still a chance that he may not be able to play Sunday? You know what I'm saying?
Right. No. If you were serious about it, you would have been looking at it last week as the deadline.
Because you want him to play you want to guarantee he plays in that Giants game. Because the worst thing in the world is to trade for a player and then him sitting on the sidelines inactive. Why? Because that's a wasted game. He ain't playing for them, and he ain't playing for you. So if the Dallas Cowboys make this move, he definitely would have been a Cowboy last week. And if you're giving him the first round pick, what's the difference between the wait? Like, why am I going to wait?
Right.
It doesn't matter if I wait till next week. I'm still giving you the first round pick.
And one more thing, too, real quick, West Coast. I want to go back to Willie's question on why do they throw their own players under the bus? Because it also is to put public pressure on them. They want to make their lives a little bit hell while they're weighing out their money options, right? They want them stressing out to the point where they say, man, I'm so tired of this, the hell with this. They tired of hearing about it. They were on them. That's why they call it negotiating through the media, you know, and I'm just being all the way honest with you, Willie. That's another reason. So number one is money. Number two is because they actually really trying to negotiate through the media by putting pressure. Because you got to look at it like this. They're billionaires and they're sitting in ivory towers, right? To the players like Dak, you basically on your first contract, which is peanuts compared to everybody else. You stressing about your future. So if they can add to that stress, and if that stress can make you panic, that's what they want. So they'll go ahead and prime the pump on that by saying something about you that'll hopefully make you come to the table and say, okay, man, let's get it done. I mean, hell, it's $30 million. You know, fine. Damn. What's the difference between $30 million and $32 million? Now, we know West Coast. That's $10 million over a 5-year contract. But, you know, to them, when they tired, they'll say, I'll take it, right? And they trying to add to that, you know. But the problem with it and the narcissistic ideal about it is that you're doing it during the season. Because notice this trend about Steven. His mean media negotiations was right before the season. During the season, they went quiet about it, right? They wasn't saying nothing this whole 7 weeks. Literally, if you asked him about the contract, he would say, we don't talk about that right now. But once he got to a bye where he had a little bit of space to just kind of slap Dak a little bit, because he said, we close. I want to try to see if I can close him real quick through the public. Hit him with a slap. and then say, I'm gonna want him to marinate on that for about the next 3 days. We'll pick it up Tuesday after the trade deadline, you know? And so by Wednesday, more than likely, Steven go get on the phone tomorrow and be like, okay, my artificial deadline is up. Let's go ahead and get it done. And they go, I almost certain it's gonna be this week, man. I think Cooper and Dak, at least one of them, definitely should be this week.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because I mean, if you want to put yourself out there to chance, I think there's a legitimate chance that you lose Amari Cooper. Why? Because I think if the Dallas Cowboys get into a bidding war with anyone, we will lose instantly. Why? Yeah. Because they will instantly. I'm gonna tell you, as soon as someone says, "Coop, I'll give you 22," Jerry Jones is gonna say, "Well, you know what? That Michael Gallup's something special, right?" That's exactly what Jerry Jones is gonna say. That's exactly what he's gonna say. Hey. That Michael Gallup's something special, right? Like, bro, I'm serious. They'll do it. They'll do it instantly. Yeah. Instantly, Michael Gallup will instantly be Amari Cooper in his mind. You know what I'm saying? That's how Jerry Jones works. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, if we get in Amari Cooper, I'm gonna tell you right now, if Amari Cooper puts him, and then the thing about it is, it's like, if you prick people the wrong way, you know, that could cost you money too. Why? Because he can use other teams to drive his price up. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that can be done. Like, he could use other teams to just drive his price up on us. Right now is the cheapest. I'm gonna tell you right now, today, which is 10/29/2019, is the cheapest we will ever get Amari Cooper.
Yep. And
outside of last week and the weeks before that. But I'm just don't worry about it. We dealing with the future.
Don't worry about those millions.
Yeah, don't worry about
those.
But today, because we can only deal with today. Today is the cheapest you will get Amari Cooper, and unless you're expecting him to decline. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, the only thing he can really do now is like succeed or be exactly where he's going to be. And think about this. If Amari Cooper's able to contain what he's able to contain, then, bro, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And guess what? Yeah. I mean, is he Hopkins? No, he's not Hopkins. But he better than Michael Thompson, that boy out there in New Orleans. And that's a fact. He better than that boy out there in New Orleans. And he getting a dub.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, and
Julio don't count. You got Matt Ryan, his 44 pass attempts a game. Like, god dang, bro. I mean, Michael Thomas shouldn't count either, but you know, because he caught 83% of one guy's. Like, imagine this, boss. Imagine if I told you a guy caught 83% of every pass of all the passes that Drew Brees threw in a season. You would be like, damn, that dude had like 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's what he did.
Yeah, yeah, man, and then like, this Cooper thing, man, it's just a big old mess, man. But I could tell you, and I really feel strongly what's going to happen. Okay, I literally predicted exactly what was going to happen in terms. I said after the trade, like I put this on my page on Boss Cowboy Sports. If you go to my page, you'll see it. I literally spelled out exactly what's going to happen. I said after the trade deadline, they're going to come out and say this, and it's going to be through Clarence Hill, James Slater, and then it's going to be through Mike Fisher. I said those are going to be the three sources. I said what's going to happen is they're going to come out and say the price was too expensive, and they was going to more than likely send out Chris Richard and say also, or they was going to say that he didn't quite fit. He's more of a box safety. And you started hearing more of that right now. That's what you're hearing right now. I think what's going to close out Cooper, I think Steven's words are going to be, at least with Cooper this week, mark my words, you can write this down, record it. He's going to say, we got to a point where we felt like we just needed to get this behind us. Watch him say that. That's going to be his key thing of why they decided to go ahead and pay him market value. It's going to be, we decided that we wanted to just get this behind us, and then they're going to ask him about Dak, and he's going to say, we're working on Dak. We're thinking about something similar with Dak. Because, see, they can only franchise tag on a real legitimate tag with some real teeth once, you know? So since you're doing it like that, you're going to have to pick one or the other pretty quick. And I just feel like this is a period to where you want to reset everything, just like y'all did last year when they was 3-5. They fired Colombo, brought in Cooper, said, okay, we resetting to retool to go forward and try to get on into the playoffs. I don't see them saying we're finna really just drag this out another 2 or 3 games when these guys are starting to get ready to hit real key, pivotal, hot games like Minnesota. That's a hot game. You might be battling them for a wild card. You shouldn't have distractions going into that game. You're getting ready to go against New England. That's a game that can set you off into exponential momentum if you knock them off like you knocked off the Saints last year. Knocking off the Saints put us in overdrive. So it's certain games you don't want to gamble with. So it's just almost like in Steven's best interest to say, you know what? Let's get this behind us. So it's like one of them got to be finished this week.
Yeah, and it makes absolutely no sense, man. On our last little top subject before we get up out of here, man. My boy Brian Brodus, he's a guy that's that works for the Dallas Cowboys. He used to be a director of scouting, and now he's just he's a blogger, but he blogs for the Dallas Cowboys currently. And someone asked him a really good question. He says, "Your guy next says." Any idea or thoughts as of when Wilson gets some reps at safety? And Brian Bros replied to him with the comment, and it says, unless an injury, training camp 2020. That is horrible.
Yep. Yeah, and I said that earlier. I said I said that exact same earlier. You're not going to see Wilson play unless he retires or has an injury. That's the only way Dak played. Some people you're going to only see through injury. The only reason we saw Jordan Lewis this past 2 weeks and got to experience the privilege of Jordan Lewis play is because Anthony Brown hamstring. Other than that, they was going to keep rolling him out there over and over and over again. And I'm almost certain he going to roll out as the starter this week. And they gonna do it right in your face. They gonna do it right in your face. Just like Jordan Lewis wasn't playing better, they gonna roll Anthony Brown out there like, yeah, we did it. What y'all gonna do about it? Y'all don't protest. Y'all keep coming to the games. You keep spending money. So as long as y'all doing that, we gonna do what we want to do. We gonna say what we want to say about Dak in the public. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Even if it's true, it can be a lie. We're going to say, yeah, the only reason they literally sitting on $81 million that you can see and I can see. And they'll say in the public, just straight up field and say, only reason we ain't paid Dak is because we trying to put people around him, basically saying almost like he holding the whole team back because he being greedy. It's like you calling him greedy like we don't see that $81 million in your backyard.
Mm-hmm. Why are you buying yachts?
So it's one of those things to where, look, man, get ready for Anthony Brown to march on back out there, and it's just gonna be what it is. So it's like I've actually got come to this. The way Dallas is going to win a Super Bowl, because there's multiple ways to win a Super Bowl. There are player-led Super Bowls, and then there are organization and leadership-led Super Bowls. Dallas is going to have to win a Super Bowl player-led. It's going to take all those guys coming together playing for each other because they have no reasons to play for the people they work for. I'm not going to say that about Jason Garrett because he's also in the politics too. What they show don't have reasons to just trust the organization and feel good about coming to work. Because it's one thing to do it to somebody that you know is not really doing as good. But when you're screwing over the guys, that's the best examples to your team, that's not a good feeling. Mm-mm. It's like you don't want to see a guy that you know working hard like Dak and Cooper playing through
guy
injury.
That supported you.
Man, and then like one of the saddest videos I want y'all to look up is on West Coast page where he's sitting in the Miller Lite zone. And he got VIP access that's in beautiful. He has a beautiful view of the sideline. And West Coast saw something and pulled out his camera. Amari was on the ground almost like he was praying in pain. Got up with blood in his ankle and kept balling. See, that's what happened when you can see stuff close up. And so if West Coast saw that in 5 minutes, How do those guys feel that's sitting in the locker room with him watching his ankle get taped and seeing that blood come out of his ankle as he's making plays? That's the type of guy that you say, they doing him like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get it, man.
It's going to be a player-led Super Bowl. And listen, and that's possible. Ray Lewis was a player-led Super Bowl. It was the power of Ray and his ability to make them guys believe is why those underdog Ravens won. It wasn't necessarily coaching. It was that moxie of leadership in that locker room. And I do think we got those type of guys, I think, because one of my best memories was when Dak got into it with Jenkins this game, bro. When Jenkins tried to walk over him and he got up like, boy, if you don't get up off me, it was the war mentality. Like, boy, this is real out here. Like, that's the type of man you rally behind. Like, let's go, dog. Let's go, man. Come on, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dak is one of them. You know what I mean? And when you see Zeke, like, fired up, like, man, let's go, man. I hate Philly. I always play good on Philly. It's going to take them guys coming together to get it. Because it's not going to come from how the leadership doing them. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, man, and you taking a chance of, young guys typically have, young emotions. Like you're not dealing with a bunch of guys who are on their second and third contracts who can be just like, oh yeah, it's business. I think you're dealing with more youngsters who'll be like, yeah, man, they take a lot of stuff in Dallas personal. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think it's worth the risk. I mean, what you're trying to get and where you're at, like you already got the money. Like, you're like, there's really nobody that Dak. I mean, once Dak and Cooper is signed, like there's nobody really else that you got to sign. I mean, unless you really absolutely want to sign them. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's some guys on the defensive line that deserve contracts, like Antoine Woods, Malik Collins.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But outside of those guys, those guys' contracts are not going to be D-Laws. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So it's like, I don't see, I wouldn't mind giving them guys Tyrone Crawford money though. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they play. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's nothing that's gonna alter what you're doing with $80 million. And to be honest with you, Amari Cooper saves you money. You know what I'm saying? So and Dak was an expense that you were already expecting. Why? Because what are you expecting to find a quarterback in the fourth round and then not play him? Like, I know you were not expecting that. Like, you're gonna tell me at some point you never thought you were gonna pay Dak Prescott. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. You know what I'm saying? But man, that was kind of the last thing, man. But hey, man, Boss Cowboy, man, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Hey man, go to Boss Cowboy Sports, man. I got 2 fire articles out. Then you gonna be more than likely gonna laugh at some of the stuff you see on my current page.
Absolutely, man. But all right, so hey man, you guys already know what it is, man. It is your boy West Coast, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. I'm gonna tell you guys one thing, you already know what it is. Never look down.